Motion. I will now entertain a motion to proceed to elect the mayor. So moved by Councilor Laurie, seconded by Councilor Martin. All in favor say aye, opposed nay. So voted. Would each councilor, when the name is called, designate the candidate of your choice by name?
Councilor Broderick,
Patrick Murphy.
Councilor Elliott,
Rodney Elliott.
Councilor Kennedy,
Rodney Elliott.
Councilor Laurie,
Patrick Murphy.
Councilor Martin,
Patrick Murphy.
Councilor Mendoza,
Rodney Elliott.
Councilor Mercia,
Rodney Elliott.
Councilor Murphy,
Patrick O'Sheen Murphy.
Councilor Nunn.
Patrick Murphy.
The chair declares Councilor Patrick Murphy elected as mayor. I would ask the parents of Mayor Murphy to escort him to the center table where he can take his oath of office, please.
Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Patrick Murphy,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform
all of the duties incumbent on me
all of the duties incumbent on me
as mayor of the city of Lowell,
as mayor of the city of Lowell,
according to the best of my ability and understanding,
according to the best of my ability and understanding,
agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution
and laws of this Commonwealth,
and laws of this Commonwealth,
and ordinances of the city of Lowell.
and ordinances of the city of Lowell.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Mr. Clark?
Mr. Clerk,
Mr. Clark?
in the spirit of unanimity, could Councilor Elliott be heard?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'd first like to thank those individuals, Councilors Edward Murphy, Councilman Johnson, Council Murphy, for their support. In the interest of unanimity, I'd like to make a motion that the vote be made unanimous on behalf of the mayor.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor. Welcome. Let me first express my deep appreciation to the people of Lowell, in whose house we now meet and whom we will proudly serve. I'm also personally grateful to my colleagues for having placed their trust in me. I work hard to earn it and will work harder still to keep it. Many mayors have taken the same oath before us, and with us today are a few of them. Let me first recognize former Mayor Brendan Fleming, former Mayor Edward Early, former Mayor and former City Manager Brian Martin, former Mayor Edward Bud Caulfield, former Mayor and current State Senator Eileen Donahue, and then of course former Mayor Rita Murcia, and former Mayor Bill Martin. I would like to also especially thank outgoing Mayor James Milanazzo for his leadership during rather difficult times in the last 2 years, and for his continued commitment to the improvement of our community. I'd also like to recognize now members of my party, my grandmother Grace, my godmother Maureen Coimbra and her husband Frank, my cousins Kathy Rose, John Rose, Danielle Coimbra, and the men who claim to have made me a man, Dan O'Connor and Joe Donlan. And finally to my family, who has supported me in everything I have done since I was just a boy. My sister Grania, who couldn't be here, but my brother who is, and his wife Allison, and of course my mother and father. Thank you. And thankfully for you, we only have allotted 10 spots for family and friends, or else this might never have ended. But indeed, this cold day in the dead of winter marks the passing of the old term into the new. The election season, which always demands much reflection, has passed and now breathes new life into our political system. The votes have been counted, and I congratulate all of you for your success, and each of the candidates for having enriched the process. But the only number that counts now is 106,000. For we are meant to represent no less than the entire city of Lowell to the best of our ability. We particularly look forward to the contributions and ideas from our newest councilors, Marty Laurie, Vesta Noon, and returning councilor Edward Kennedy. I suspect each of you has something to teach us, even early on, if willing to speak, and we can all learn from one another if willing to listen. The very city of Lowell has been built by people of diverse backgrounds, voices, and points of view who work to find common ground upon which to rebuild an even stronger community. As we try to survive a global recession, we will surely need to call on all those voices to meet the challenges that lie ahead. But there is reason for hope. In many extraordinary ways, through many groups, nonprofit, school, business, cultural, neighborhood, and otherwise, another generation of Lowellians is again reinventing our city, once the site of an industrial revolution, into an exciting center for arts, innovation, entrepreneurship, and a more just and sustainable future. Government has also played a vital role in this renewal and proven in the last few years that it can be a positive force in the lives of people. That, after all, is why we have sought to be a part of it. Working together, The City Council and Lynch administration has developed an ambitious vision for Lowell with specific objectives to realize our goals. In fact, the last few years has ushered in an era not of more government, but a more efficient and effective government. With the Lowell Stat Initiative, which has generated over $1 million of savings in new revenue, the development of our first ever performance-based budget, which measures actual outcomes from our expenditures, and the regionalization of some functions and reorganization of others to enhance code enforcement and compliance. But while residents will soon be able to track the productivity of some departments in order to encourage their constant improvement, we must work in this term to add several more. And we ought to further pursue opportunities for efficiencies wherever they might be found, whether through the proposed Emergency Communications Center or the internal consolidation of city departments. Moreover, we must fully engage with residents in better delivering services through new technology, while still delivering them with a human touch. Much of what has been done, when coupled with the city's fiscal management policies, has led to positive developments with our city's finances. Our removal from the Department of Revenue's watch list, an improved bond rating, and modest tax relief this year. Perhaps most significant is the signing of a collectively bargained agreement with all unions on health insurance, which will result in millions of dollars in savings to the city each year. We can maintain this progress only by maintaining sound policies, higher reserves, conservative budgeting, and yet we can only call this progress by ensuring the protection of our most vulnerable workers. Despite a difficult economy, many projects, even in the private sector, are progressing. The city approved 2 new tax increment financing plans, designated a new cultural district, a Cambodia Town business and cultural village, supported numerous small businesses through its grant and loan programs in the downtown and in the neighborhoods, and amended its investment policy to make more capital available to local businesses looking to expand. More affordable housing options have been added with city support. Parks and playgrounds have been renovated for greater use. Our strong educational and health institutions remain anchors for our economy and to position the city well for future growth. Perhaps most promising is what kind of growth we can encourage. Work for living wages, work that improves rather than degrades our environment, work that addresses rather than creates social problems. UMass Lowell and Middlesex Community College continue to be important partners in preparing a force for that work. And the city is doing its part to directly spur work opportunities. The City Council approved over $20 million of capital improvements to reduce our energy costs and consumption, and has offered residents energy audits and support to weatherize and increase the efficiency of their homes. With the adoption of the Stretch Energy Building Code, a green fleet policy, incentives for renewable energy, and plans for a carbon-neutral national park, Lowell has become recognized as a leading green community. A cluster of solar and similar companies have located in Lowell, and with greater effort, we can yet become more of a leader in the green economy, or even render the term redundant. Despite all of these achievements, funding cuts at the state and federal levels threaten to strain our local budget. Now more than ever, we must strive to reinvest in our community, in both our green and gray infrastructure, to lay the groundwork for future development, in public safety, not only in enforcement activities, but in prevention efforts, in after-school opportunities, recreational spaces and programs. And finally, we must invest in the education of our people. Only in the last 3 years has the city met its commitment to 100% of its net school spending requirement. Our schools have done well, with the resources provided, and with the leadership of Superintendent Gene Franco and the teachers in the classroom. But we can do better. And we can start by developing a plan for more early childhood reading and literacy support in preparing to take advantage of potential grants proposed by the governor. More than more funding, what all of these investments require is creativity, time, effort, energy, not just by a few, but by many. Because no matter what policies we adjust or which projects we approve, no real change can happen without the sustained engagement of our citizens. This is the important work before us. We needn't be unified in thought, but we ought to at least be open to new ideas, to honest reconciling differences, to a unity of purpose. For we share in this short space of time and in this special place, a small plot of earth we can all call home. So let us commit now to what the citizens of Athens would have pledged so many years ago, to transmit a city not only not less, but greater and more beautiful than it was transmitted to us. Thank you.